Congratulations on the purchase of your KidzLock. This instructional video will take you step by step through the easy installation process of the KidzLock assembly to a hinged door. Please have the printed instructions handy to refer to, along with this video for additional installation details. First, ensure that all of the assembly parts are included, as detailed on page 2 of the instructions. Note that 2 sets of screws are included. One set is for installation in a wood door application, and one is for installation in a metal door application. The tools you will need for this assembly are a power drill, 3 drill bits, sizes 9/16 inches, 3/8 inches, and 5/64 inches, a Phillips head screwdriver, a tape measure, and a pencil for marking. You may pause this video at any time and re-watch the installation steps as needed. You'll first want to decide how far off the floor you'd like your KidzLock installed for your child's safety. We recommend about 6 feet, but you can install at any height that's comfortable for your own reach, ensuring that your children cannot reach it. To begin, clamp the disposable installation bracket on the door using the 2 thumb screws and sticky pads provided. The bracket is designed to help you guide the drill bits during the installation, while the sticky pads protect your door surface when the thumb screws are tightened onto them. Insert the thumb screws slightly into the installation bracket and position the bracket on the door. Tighten the thumb screws tightly onto the pads while applying pressure against the bracket on the edge of the door. Using the 9/16 inch drill bit, drill a hole in the edge of the door approximately 2 3/4 inches deep. Make sure you are drilling the hole directly in the center of the door's width. It's okay to drill a little deeper than 2 3/4 inches. Work the drill in and out of the hole to make sure you get all of the shavings out. But just be sure not to drill so deeply that you hit anything, such as glass in the door. Next, using the 3/8 inch drill bit, drill into the door through the bracket on the side approximately 1 inch until you intersect the previously drilled latch sleeve hole. You will then do the same on the opposite side and finish by extending the drill bit through the entire door from one side to the other. You can also drill just once completely through the door from one side to the corresponding bracket hole. Ensure any shavings are removed and then remove the installation bracket and sticky pads. Next, take the latch sleeve and slide it into the hole so that the spur gear holes drilled on the sides of the door line up with a hole on the side of the latch sleeve. Your latch bolt and latch sleeve may already come pre-assembled. If they are not, simply insert the latch bolt into the latch sleeve so that the teeth of the latch bolt are facing upwards. You can then insert the spur gear into the spur gear holes through the teeth and out the other side of the door. You should now be able to turn the spur gear by hand and operate the latch bolt mechanism. If it does not easily turn, one of the spur gear holes is probably drilled slightly incorrectly. You can always make the spur gear hole a little wider or deeper without hurting anything. You can also loosely slip one of the KidzLock knobs on the spur gear to test it. When you're satisfied that the mechanism operates smoothly, remove the knob and leave the spur gear in the hole. Next, mark the top hole for the back plate on each side of the door. It is important that the center back plate hole is centered on the spur gear so that the spur gear can turn freely. Next, install the back plates with the appropriate top screws for either a wooden door or metal door. Before you install the bottom screws, first test to make sure the spur gear turns freely. Next, drill the holes for the bottom backplate screws, about a 1/2 inch deep, using the 5/64 inch drill bit, and install the appropriate bottom screws. Slide the KidzLock knobs onto the spur gear shaft and tighten the hex screws with the hex wrench, making sure the knobs are flush against the back plates. The spur gear shaft should be protruding approximately equal distance on both sides of the door. The knobs will slide onto the spur gear shaft in several positions as the tightening of the hex set screw determines final position of the knob. It's recommended that the knobs be installed in the same relative position on both sides of the door so that you can read the KidzLock inscription, and that the knobs be installed vertically when the KidzLock is in the unlocked position. This way you can tell if the door is locked or unlocked without having to physically check it. Next, we will install the strike plate. With the door closed so it is seated, make a mark in the middle where the KidzLock is installed to help you determine the height to drill the hole in your door jamb to receive the latch bolt. Then, with the KidzLock in the unlocked position and the door opened, you will determine the horizontal measurement and location for the strike plate hole. This will be based on where your particular door comes to rest halfway from the edge of the door in its closed resting position. Note when you are measuring to also consider the gap between the door and the door jamb in your placement calculation. Mark on the edge of the door jamb where the strike plate is to go. You should test your strike plate location before drilling the hole to double-check you're correctly lining up the hole with a lock. Make any hole adjustments before installing the strike plate. Refer to the instructions for additional considerations on the placement of the strike plate hole before drilling. Once you have determined and marked the location of the strike plate hole, use the 9/16 inch drill bit for creating the hole. Note that the depth of this hole only needs to be approximately 1/2 inch. If the latch bolt doesn't line up with the hole you have drilled, the hole can always be made a little wider or taller without hurting anything. The strike plate hole will be within the center of the strike plate. Install the strike plate with the 2 screws provided. Make sure that the strike plate is tightly mounted against the door frame and the screws are completely tight so that it doesn't bind with the door closing. If you have a metal door frame, the strike plate installation is not necessary. Congratulations on the successful installation of your KidzLock and the peace of mind that comes with it. If you have trouble going through any of these installation steps, please refer to the printed instructions for further helpful installation details.